Okay, Grant Fisher here. 12:51.84. You missed the American record by 23 hundredths of a second. So how are you feeling about that?
You know, honestly, like, I'm pretty happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, you look back on a race like that and it's like, when you put it into context, like half a second or a quarter second, you know, could you have squeezed that more out of yourself? Those are the questions you ask after you finish. Man, I was giving it though. Like, the Rabbits did a great job. They got me to 2K. And then I knew it was going to be just a long, lonely like grind out there, and that's what it was. Yeah, everyone that was here, you know, the crowd was really fun, and I heard the splits clicking off, and we were on it, and you know, trying to wind it up from the front as best I could, and you know that I went all out a few days ago in Millrose. I went all out today, and that's a wrap to the indoor season. Just 5 days long, and I like where I'm at.
Yeah. Were you treating this as like a world record attempt, American record attempt? What were you going in trying to do?
You know, I was trying not to think about what the outcome would be. I thought I could run like 62s basically for a really long time, and that's basically what we were doing. You know, when you say 62s in your head, you start doing the math, and you're just like, okay, what does that add up to? Okay, if I close in 58, you know, what does that add up to? I was trying not to focus on that, just trying to like maximize what I had. Similar to 2 weeks ago, you know, not 2 weeks ago, 5 days ago, when I took the lead, it was just, what is the fastest possible pace I can sustain to the finish line? Mm-hmm. And every lap, you know, it's, you know, you increase the effort, but the pace roughly stays the same. And, you know, days like this are really hard. Yeah. So, you know, it would have been really cool to grab the American record. You know, to be really close to it, it almost, you know, is more annoying than if I were 5 seconds off of it. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. You know, for doing a lot of work alone, I'm good with it. Yeah.
What was the reasoning behind doing another race so quickly after the Millrose?
So the rationale was trying to replicate the Olympic trials, trying to replicate hopefully the Olympics. That's roughly the gap you get between the 10K and the 5K prelim. It's a little longer than the gap you get between 5K prelim and 5K final. But just get used to recovering. And I switched coaches. I'm with a new coach now, Mike, and it's going great. And, you know, you kind of want to replicate what you want to do at the important parts of the season. You know, these past two races, they've been really fun. They really aren't that important beyond just like checking where I am and getting a good effort and building some confidence in the new system. But it's all about the summertime. So yeah, replicate what I'm going to need to do later and get used to recovering, see how my body responds. If I felt like shit today, then okay, we need to tweak something in the recovery period. But I felt pretty good. So yeah, it's good confidence in the new system.
Yeah. So you felt good coming in, like your body was pretty recovered?
Yeah, you know, you never know how you're going to feel off of a first race of the season, first time on an indoor track of the season, all out effort. You know, the next day I was pretty tired, of course, and a couple days later, you know, you're slowly getting your legs back. But I feel like by today I felt pretty fresh. So I don't think there was any residual fatigue. Maybe there was 0.2 seconds of residual fatigue. Maybe I can tell myself that. But yeah, it was. This is prep for the summertime.
There is another big race tonight, the U.S. Championships in the 3,000 meters. Why did you choose to do this one as opposed to, if you're mimicking the championships, why not do that one?
Yeah, you know, it was between this and that. It was slightly easier with travel just to do Millrose and then stay on the East Coast and then do this race. Also, if I was going to do U.S. indoors, I would have wanted to do it with the goal of making the world team. And if I would have made that world team, I would have declined the spot probably because I have to run a 10K in a month and get that standard in the 10K. You know, I wish I had that in my pocket already and I could do the fun stuff like USAs and Worlds, but the way that it's set up, the 10K standard is so hard to get that it becomes super valuable if you do get it. Like the scarcity of it creates a lot of value. So if you can get it, you know, it's not like, I would be surprised if there were 10 guys going into USAs with the 10K standard. Yeah. It's probably going to be fewer than that. So if you have that in your pocket, it's really valuable. So yeah, it was a toss-up. Yeah, obviously I decided this. I don't regret it. It would have been fun to race the U.S. indoor meet. I've never done one before. But, you know, it is what it is. You got to pick and choose where you go.
I know you have a new coach now, but are you able to compare where you feel you are fitness-wise right now compared to the last couple of years this time?
Yeah, it's a little different. I'm really strong right now. Haven't done a ton of like sharpening sessions where I'm able to like basically hit a hard workout and simulate like kicking at the end. I've done a lot of workouts with like longer reps where I'm running somewhere between 60 and 64, but I really haven't cranked like sub 60 that often. All my training has been with the 10K in mind. Obviously sprinkled in with some 5K and 2 mile type work. But the 10K is so important that I can't get away from like doing 100 miles a week leading up to this, or doing hills and long runs hard and long tempos. I couldn't really afford to peak too much as far as speed goes for this, just because I need to be super strong in a month. Mm-hmm. So, that's the sport. You got to pick and like I said, pick and choose your races. You also you need to shape your body and your fitness in a way that lets you do well at those races.
Yeah.
So, kind of shape my body for 2K or 2 miles and 5K sort of, but with the 10K in mind.
Did you back off much for these races?
Week leading in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so a week taper. I mean, I'm not training through this by any means.
Okay.
But I'm also not treating this like championship season.
Yeah. And what was it like going to this race? There's a lot of Bowerman guys in this race. You don't have the singlet on. Did you talk to them before the race at all? Like, what was it like being on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. Even at Millrose, looking down and seeing blue, I've never experienced that before, and I'm so used to seeing myself in the Bowerman red, black, and white that it does feel a little weird. I'm still very good friends with those guys. They're in Flagstaff right now. We easy run together all the time. We get dinner together all the time. So like, they're good dudes. We're staying in the same hotel. I shook out with them this morning. So, those are my boys. Like, yeah. It is weird, like the symbolism of having a different kit on. It's a little different, but like, friendships stay, so.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate the time, Grant.
Yeah,
nice job
man.
tonight.